Welcome to your favorite program, The Power Circuit, from the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. This program keeps you informed about the operations of TCN and the role it plays in managing the national electricity grid. Today's episode promises to be informative as this special package highlights the journey so far in the power sector in the first half of 2021. You'll get to hear the Minister of Power, Engineer Salim Maman, speak about how the power sector fared so far this year. This edition also showcases the efforts of the Acting Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, towards enhancing the power transmission network as the power sector recorded multiple all-time peak electricity in the first half of the year. Get to see all this in this specially packaged episode. Please stay with us as we promise to deliver an exciting and informative package for your viewing delight. My name is Samara Agugoesi, and this is The Power Circuit. In the power sector, the year 2021 began with lots of expectations from stakeholders and the sector drivers. According to the Minister of Power, Engineer Salim Maman, Nigerians were to expect improvement in electricity supply indices and the delivery of more power projects nationwide. The power circuit tracked these deliverables so far at the level of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN.
As we progress, by the year 2021, up to the end of our tenure, we intend to achieve a lot.
The management of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, was fully prepared coming into the new year after the power grid had recorded multiple all-time peak electricity with a proactive culture in place for power system maintenance. The Acting Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of TCN, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, had at the end of 2020 stated that as a project management specialist, a lot is being done to move the company to greater heights as he looked forward to accelerating those strategies in 2021.
As you have seen recently, we have commissioned Gagara substation. More are coming. We have finished Ogba in Lagos, Ikeja West, Akure will soon come, Katsina substation, and a lot of them. So our projects are now moving.
Towards giving the TCN staff a further boost, the Minister of Power, Engineer Salim Maman, inspected the National Control Center in Oshogbo, in Osun State, as the year kicked in. The facility controls the operation of the national power grid.
We will not dwell much in sharing our modest achievement. Suffice to acknowledge the steady improvement we have made in the last couple of months. As substituted by the achievement of an all-time peak generation of 5,520.5 megawatt and the maximum daily energy of 115,067.78 megawatt hour, recorded on 30th October 2020 and 11 December 2020 respectively.
During the visit, the TCN head, Engineer Abdulaziz, also appreciated the team members of the TCN at NCC for their commitments.
It is of importance to TCN that the NCC is doing a very good job.
A report from the Independent System Operations ISO at TCN during the first half of the year also shows Nigeria's power sector system disturbances have dropped to the barest minimum, with just 4 incidents occurring in 2020 and 3 incidents recorded so far.
The lowest feat of 4 incidents of power system disturbances in a year was the first of such low records in about 12 years in the power sector. Another key milestone of TCN and the other actors on the national grid is the recording of multiple all-time peak power generation. The multiple all-time peaks recorded on the national grid between 2020 and the first quarter of 2021 is far much more than has been recorded in the past 10 years. In 2020, there were 4 all-time peak records and 4 more recorded so far this year. Nigeria recorded 5,377.8 megawatts all-time peak on August 1, 2020, which rose to 5,420.30 megawatts on August 18. There was a rise to 5,459.50 megawatts on October 28, and then to 5,520.40 megawatts on October 30, 2020. By year 2021, the multiple all-time peak feat was sustained as it moved to 5,552 megawatts on January 6 and rose to 5,593.40 megawatts on February 25. On February 28, the national grid recorded the third time all-peak energy to 5,615.40 megawatts, and by March 1st, the fourth peak of 5,801.60 megawatts was recorded. Commenting, the TCN Enhancement, Engineer Abdulaziz said, the commitment of TCN has reduced transmission grid disturbances to the barest minimum as grid capacity has also increased. He said TCN has installed several transformers, rehabilitated several substations, and upgraded power transmission lines with several projects ongoing.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, in the first half of the year installed 300 MVA power transformers in Ikeja West Substation in Lagos, 40 MVA power transformer in Yauri, Kebbi State, 60 MVA units in Kubwa, Abuja, 150 MVA and 30 MVA power transformers in Kano, and commissioned a reactor in Apri, Benue State. These are all towards revolutionizing the power transmission capacity of TCN.
The equipment at the 330-132 kilovolts Ikeja West Station has improved bulk power transmission in parts of Lagos and Ogun states, according to TCN. The 132-33 kilovolts Yauri transmission substation in Kebbi State also got a boost with the commissioning of a second 40 MVA power transformer. TCN then installed a 60 MVA power transformer at the 132 kilovolts Kubwa transmission substation in Abuja. TCN installed another 60 MVA transformer at the 330-132 kilovolts Kumbotso transmission substation in Kano. It then moved a 30 MVA mobile transformer, which was replaced by the new 60 MVA transformer in Kumbotso, to the new 132 kV Bichi transmission substation in Kano State to further increase the bulk power available for distribution within Kano and its environs. Engineers of TCN also energized a brand new 40 MVA power transformer at Okene substation in Kogi State to add to the 74 megawatts of bulk electricity capacity the facility had. TCN also set in motion the plan to build a second national control center in Abuja to complement the existing center in Osogbo in Osun State. The management of TCN, led by the acting managing director and chief executive officer, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, was at the proposed site for the construction of the second National Control Center, NCC, in Gwagwalada town in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. In pursuit of its transmission enhancement and expansion drive, the company completed the re-expansion of the 132 kilovolts bringing KB to Sokoto transmission line with 415 towers. TCN also enhanced works on the 330 kilovolts Ugwaji to Makodi transmission line and the 132-33 kilovolts Ugwaji transmission substation in Enugu State. It also successfully completed the construction of a new transmission tower in the Ajah area of Lagos. The company strung an old and a new 330 kilovolts line on the Egbin to Ajah transmission line route, with both of the lines already energized to boost more bulk power evacuation in the Lagos transmission region. The management of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, led by the acting managing director, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, acquired and inspected a new secretariat for the project implementation unit of TCN. It was a heartwarming moment for the PIU staff of TCN, as he noted that the new secretariat provides a conducive atmosphere that will stimulate the staff to work better.
For people to work, they need a good environment. And there is no doubt, I can say this one anywhere. You cannot compare it with where you people left. So we hope on your own side, you put your own best and work, since you have the atmosphere you require to work.
The company also deepened its proactive equipment and facility maintenance culture as exemplified in various states. Its engineers executed routine maintenance of the 132 kilovolt underground power transmission line across the IBB Golf Course area in Maitama district in Abuja. The system maintenance exercise continued as the in-house engineers of TCN explored the 132 kilovolt Caro transmission substation in Abuja. The engineers worked diligently with their checklists as they checked one of the 60 MVA power transformers and all its components. The TCN engineers also undertook a routine maintenance exercise at the 132-33 kilovolt Suleja transmission substation in Niger State, where they inspected the operational condition of a 60 MVA power transformer, the switch yard, and the control room.
The power circuit continues after this break.
In the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, we transmit bulk electricity from power generating companies, GenCos, to distribution load centers of various distribution companies, DISCOs. Nationwide, we do not generate electricity, neither do we distribute same directly to electricity consumers. TCN has two business units: the Transmission Service Provider, TSP, and Independent System Operations, ISO. The ISO comprises of System Operation, SO, and Market Operation, MO. The business units all perform specialized functions under the TCN umbrella. Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, wielding power for national economic growth. This message is brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN.
During the first half of the year, TCN raised concerns about the encroachment of power transmission lines right of way across the states. There were reported cases in Enugu, Onitsha, Benue, Abuja, Lagos, Osun, among other states. The General Manager, Health, Safety and Environment at TCN, Mr. Kange Kefas, spoke about this and its implications.
TCN has basically two high tension lines, which is 330 kV and 132. For the 330, the setback is 25 meters this way and 25 meters this way from the center line. Okay. For the 132, it's 15 meters this way and 15 meters this way from the central line. So that makes it altogether is 50 for 330 and 30 for 132. You go to Kano, you go to Kaduna, you go to, in fact, there is one in Owerri that will puzzle you, a back area. It's got a 132 tower. It's inside somebody's house. Almost everywhere in this country, the right of way is being encroached.
In terms of collaborations, the management of TCN built on this virtue in the early parts of this year. The Ebonyi State Governor, Dr. David Umahi, visited the TCN management with talks held on the completion of the ongoing 2x60 MVA substation and transmission projects at Amasiri town in the state. Officials of TCN in the Benin transmission region also met with the Edo State government to strengthen ties to protect power transmission assets in the states. Edo State Governor Mr. Godwin Obaseki, during the TCN courtesy visit, said the state government was committed to tackling vandalism and right-of-way encroachment of power transmission lines in the states. The collaboration continued with the visits of the Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, to the Minister of Power, Engineer Salim Mamman, and the TCN management on restoring power to Maiduguri after insurgents disrupted a power transmission facility in February. Still on collaboration, TCN met with electricity market participants during the 43rd biannual hydro planning meeting in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, where its officials had enjoined electricity market participants to continue to ensure the strict compliance with the National Power Grid Code towards improving the power sector. There was a live session tagged "The Joint Generation Operation and Distribution Companies Planning Meeting hosted by the TCN National Control Center in Abuja. The participants were urged to sustain the systematic planning across the entire value chain of the power sector to achieve success in improving the national power grid. In another apparent demonstration of collaborative efforts, the Minister of Power, Engineer Saleh Mamman, convened a joint meeting of key agencies under the Federal Ministry of Power towards evaluating and activating some power projects nationwide. Top of the agenda of this meeting was the evaluation of some key power projects belonging to NDPHC and the modalities for maximizing output from these projects for the NDPHC through the Transmission Company of Nigeria. Recognizing the strength and importance of industrial relations in an organization, the TCN management this year redesignated more staff from other departments to the Industrial Relations Department. It also organized an induction course for the newly designated Industrial Relations Officers at the TCN headquarters from across the transmission regions to boost the engagement of its stakeholders. The company under the present management has also prioritized capacity building for the officials, especially on the emerging service improvement drive. It is vigorously implementing the Service Level Agreement (SLA) that seeks to enable market participants in the Nigerian electricity market to improve on its services, just as it continues a region-wide training on SLA since last year from Osogbo, Lagos, Abuja, and Bauchi regions. It has delivered its training of staff on the SLA in the first half of the year in Benin region, Port Harcourt region, and Enugu region of TCN. TCN also held a seminar in Abuja where its management team parleyed with the system operations staff of the company on effective implementation of the service level agreement. There is no end to the SLA trainings and engagement by TCN, as there was another SLA workshop organized to intensify training for the general managers of the transmission service provider and the system operations arm of the company. The acting managing director and CEO of TCN, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, and the other management officials raised the SLA engagement to a higher level by meeting with the regional transmission managers and all general managers in the transmission service provider units of TCN at the TCN headquarters in Abuja. Engineer Abdulaziz at the meeting charged officials to strategize on how to further increase the transmission wheeling capacity while commending them for being steadfast and dedicated to their work.
I would like to take this opportunity to commend and thank all of you for your support and dedication to duty in the last 10 months since the inception of this new management. You have been working very well and we are making a lot of progress. They say the road of good work is more work. So I urge you to keep up the good work and continue doing what you are doing up to now, since we are having success.
The Technical Services Department of TCN convened a technical meeting for the optimization of the supervisory control and data acquisition SCADA equipment to improve communication and real-time monitoring of the national electricity grid. The two-day meeting was meant for all the principal managers across the 9 regions of TCN, with technical presentations on SCADA optimization by the participants.
The acting managing director, CEO of TCN, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, is also the chairman, executive board of the West African Power Pool WAP. He chaired the 15th WAP session of the General Assembly in Lomé, the capital of the Republic of Togo. Engineer Abdulaziz also spearheaded other WAP meetings during the period, including the workshop on the WAP North Core interconnection project held in Abuja.
The 15th WAP session of the General Assembly had various sections, including the 35th WAP Donor Coordination and Technical Meeting, as well as a General Assembly session to crown the 5-day event. The WAP chairman further said the pool was committed towards ensuring there is a boost in regional energy integration. WAP also held its 49th meeting of the Executive Board of the West African Power Pool in Cotonou in Benin Republic. The WAP chairman and acting MD of TCN, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, charged members on stronger commitment to improve the regional electricity infrastructure.
As we hope in Lomé during the General Assembly 4 months ago, today we have succeeded in holding this executive board meeting face to face. Of course, this does not mean that the COVID-19 pandemic is over. I'm pleased to note from the brief presentation of the implementation status of WAP priority projects that in spite of some delays, the projects are progressing notwithstanding of the COVID-19 pandemic.
The WAP chairman led members of the WAP Executive Board to inspect ongoing construction works for the WAP Information and Coordination Center, ICC, in Cotonou. As the first half of the year wound up, TCN hosted a week-long workshop of the West African Power Pool, WAP, on the North Core Interconnection Project in Abuja. The workshop had a series of meetings to revalidate the implementation actions for the construction of about 875 kilometers of 330 kilovolts power transmission line that will connect Nigeria to Burkina Faso through Niger, Benin, and Togo.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, is not done yet with its region-wide reform. It closed the first half of the year with critical reform milestones. Here is a highlight of this.
It was delightful news when the management of TCN recently announced that it had expanded the transmission regions from 9 to 10. The latest addition is the Kano Transmission Region, which was created from the old Kaduna Transmission Region in June 2021. TCN said creating the Kano region became imperative due to the rapid economic and industrial development in Kano State and its environs. The new Kano Transmission Region has under its supervision one sub-regional office and several work centers, all housing 13 transmission substations. These substations include that of Kumbotsu, Dan Agundi, Dakata, Tambarwa, Konadangora, and Wudil in Kano. There are the Kenkia, Katsina, and Daura substations in Katsina, the Dutse, Hadejia, and Gagarwa substations in Jigawa states, and the Azare substation in Bauchi states. Towards improving transparency and accountability culture, the management of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has raised a 10-man anti-corruption and transparency unit, ACT2. The acting managing director and CEO of TCN, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, during the inauguration of the ACT2 members in Abuja, said this will cut down operational costs and ensure transparency in TCN's rules of transmitting bulk power.
No matter how we look at corruption, it is not ethical, and we must all rise to the challenge of fighting it by saying no to any form of corruption practice. It is in this response to the need to fight corruption, the federal government established the ACTU, which is mini ICPC in the federal ministries, departments, and agencies, through circular number OHCSF MSO 192/94 of 2nd October 2001. This clearly shows that government is really interested in the activities of ACTU, and members of this committee must understand this and take their assignment seriously.
You have seen and heard the milestones and challenges of TCN in the first half of the year. The company is poised to do more with support from members of the public this year. The management of TCN continues to implore you to report suspected cases of vandalism to the TCN offices or the nearest security establishment. You can also avoid the encroachment of the right-of-way of power transmission lines so that you can be safe and the power infrastructure can serve Nigerians better. As always, this episode and all others are readily accessible with just a click on the TCN YouTube channel. The company has these other platforms to take feedback on its operations from you, our esteemed viewer. Also ensure you follow the coronavirus prevention protocol to stay safe. Thanks for watching. I am Amara Agugoisi.